afternoon, YouTube. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I definitely enjoyed my weekend at home with the family. And Monday, man, Monday's the day to get back on the grind, get back outside, chase this money. I already finished my delivery early this morning here in North Carolina, the load that took me home, and now I just got over to Statesville, to the Bobcat over here, picking up the new load that I'm on, multi-stop, going up to upstate New York and New Hampshire. So let's go. Let's go. I already checked in. They told me already what door to back into. So let's go get loaded and let's take this ride, guys. Let's get this done. See you in a bit. Alright guys, about to get loaded. Let's take a look here. What we got going on over here? What kind of equipment is that? Getting it's like 4 stops. I'm probably getting like 4 of those bad boys. See how they're gonna load it up there. Alright guys, let's take a look. Alright guys, we are officially loaded. Now you gotta secure all these bad boys. Bunch of chains all over the place. 4 stops. So we got 1 stop upstate New York. The other 3 stops are all in New Hampshire. So that's pretty good. And they're not too far from each other. But yeah, man, let's get our chains out. Let's get our binders out. Let's figure out what we're gonna do with this, and see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, we are secured to the T, guys. We are secured. Got all of these bad boys chained up. We are ready to roll out. Ready to roll up out of here, man. So we got this. These are 4 stops. You see right there? Yeah. 4 stops. First stop now, we're about to go to what was it, upstate New York. Then the rest are in New Hampshire. So yeah guys, we are chained up, secured up, and we are ready to roll out. So let's make moves, guys. Get up out of here. We done made it. Well, made it to the first stop anyways. So I was right underneath that crane. They're gonna go lift this big bad boy over here off with the crane. And yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what I gotta do later, because the head here, the hook doesn't fit through here. So you need yourself a little pin. You gotta take out the cotter pins every time you do that. But I'll show you guys in a little bit if I get a chance to. But yeah, that's how we gotta do it up there with the crane and stuff. That's good for you, boss? So you're straightened out right here, pretty much?
Right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Right here.
All right, perfect. We'll do, boss. Okay, so this is the part that sucks a little bit. Because you see how this, it doesn't, sometimes it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in through there, if you see. So I gotta like take the damn cotter pin out, undo the buckle here, and then put it back together. So you just need a little simple tool.
You want to have your hand up.
Like that. You gotta do that for every side. And do this one just like that. Yep. This.
Hey, Rat.
So this is it, guys. This is how it would look. Just take these apart. That's how they come apart. You hook it back on here, and that's how it works. Whenever you can't put it through the loop, these guys already unloading everything, lifting it up with that crane. Yeah, it's nice, man. Some good work. And then the rest of these just go to the second stop. Well, the second stop is in the front. Third and fourth, that's how they have to set it up. But yeah, that's how it is, guys. Move on to the next. Yeah, guys, so that's how it is with these chains, man. When you got the little small, when you got the small openings where the head doesn't fit through it, you gotta take out the cotter pin, put the chain through it, and then connect it back. So already got it out. Just put it in here. That's it, simple as that. Then you can put the cotter pin back in. Take off these doors. Put the cotter pin back in there. And then you just twist it. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. One side. That's it. It's not going anywhere. Next time we need to do the same thing. Have your little tool out, and that's how you will get it done, guys. Let me put all these chains back together. Go from there. See you guys in a bit. All right, guys. So they just finished unloading. I put away all my chains, binders for that first stop. But let me show you guys why I always say you gotta have a couple little tools, man. Because when you're doing flatbed, anything open deck, sometimes they put a lot of nails and stuff on your things, man. Plus, you saw that. You saw how we had to remove those cotter pins. Now, if you didn't have something to remove those cotter pins with, what were you gonna do? You'd have just been stuck at the shipper complaining, talk about, oh, I don't have any tools. My company didn't give me any tools. This is what I have, man. Simple, bro, simple. I don't even have like no craziness. It's just simple, man. Simple stuff. Look, simple stuff. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. Essentials. Essentials. Something so you don't get caught slacking anywhere. Essential stuff. That's all you need. Obviously, you could do a lot more. I'm still, you know, gathering a lot more tools, but this is a good little starter kit, man. This is from freaking, I got this from Home Depot for like less than 20 bucks. Because I'm not gonna not take a load because I don't have the tools to do something. Or when you are on the road, you need to fix something. You gotta be able to do shit on your own. Not always dependent on people to come save you. What's gonna be the alternative? To leave that there, and then when you go pick up your next load, they won't load you because that's there, and they won't remove it. Simple stuff. That's the first ones. Let's go get the next ones. Have a good one, boss. Now you're gonna go like that. Put your stuff right back in your little trusted tool area. That's it. I should throw those bad boys out. But that's it. This is like a little baby starter kit. It's not even nothing crazy. Little baby stuff. At least have that, guys. Like I told you guys before, I'm not the most mechanically inclined or the crazy type of situation, but I do handle my business though, however I can. Let's get up out of here. Well, let me show you guys a little bit. Hold on, so you guys can see it. So, like I said, nothing crazy, but try to have a few little things, man. Like I got, you know, a little bullshit. Got my flashers, of course. I got this joint here to do my tire check for my pre-trip stuff. My bar. You know, got my drill. Got my fuel canister. I got a little rust like WD-40 for the change. Of course, you gotta have the your jumper cables. That's a must. Gotta I got it here. What the hell is it? Where did it go? There goes, oh, there it goes. There goes my socket wrench right there. My set, you know. A few little things, man. Nothing crazy. I'm not the world's biggest mechanic or nothing. But hey, there's been some times where super truckers could have come to me. Like, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? I kind of need to, you know, unscrew something, or I left my tools at home, and I am by no stretch of the imagination in my super trucker. But you know, I defend myself. I got a few little things here. But hey guys, let's get up out of here so we can get to the second stop. But the second stop is gonna be for the morning because they're already closed. We'll get there in the morning. We're about almost about 3 hours from there, and then we finish up tomorrow. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, we are all done with that first stop up here in upstate New York. Now we're going to the second stop in New Hampshire. So right now we're gonna stroll, man. We are 3 hours and 18 minutes away from the second stop, but it is 3 o'clock now, so I wouldn't be getting there till like, you know, almost 6 and some change. But they're already closed. They stopped shipping and receiving stops at 3 o'clock over there. So we're just gonna drive as close as we can, stop at a truck stop, rest area, whichever the closest one is, and call it a night, man. But I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the importance of having a little startup set, man. You need to have, if you're doing flatbed, if you're doing open deck, even if you're not, man, I think if you're doing dry van, reefer, any kind of trucking division, I feel like you need to have yourself a little bit of tools, like you guys saw. I have like a little baby tool set. It's not even nothing crazy, but you gotta have something, man. You gotta have your little essentials. You gotta be able to patch a few things up here and there, take care of little stupid stuff like that, like with the nails and stuff like that I just had to deal with, especially with the chains, taking out the cotter pin, putting the cotter pins back into it in order to be able to fit the hook through certain holes that are too small. You gotta be ready to get your hands dirty, man. My hands stay dirty all the time. You gotta be ready to have your hands dirty, and frankly, just put in a little bit of work, man. Don't be scared to get down and dirty, put in some work, man. Like, listen, I come from a corporate background, meaning if you guys don't know, I come from a corporate background, meaning I used to do sales. So I used to work for a telecommunications company, and I was doing sales. I was a sales rep. I was a sales lead. Then I was a sales supervisor. I was climbing up the corporate ladder until that job, was no longer an option, and once my corporate career that was 10 years plus came to a halt, I had to kind of look for another career path because I didn't want to keep doing sales anymore. I didn't want to, and I have my credentials, man. Listen, a lot of people think that truck drivers are just these stupid, dirty people that just can't do anything else with their lives. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Being a truck driver, I've met really smart truck drivers. I don't consider myself a dumb person. I do have my credentials. I come to the table with things. I do have 2 degrees. I have an associate's degree in accounting, and I have a bachelor's degree in finance. So, I know a little thing or two about numbers. Hey, I love math, I love numbers, and that's why I'm good at running a business. That's why I'm good at, the business side of trucking. To me, the business side of trucking to me is a piece of cake. It's actually a really easy company to manage as far as the books and stuff like that, because as long as you keep your expenses to the T, what to itemize, what is a tax deduction, what's not, and you have the right team in place. You can't do everything yourself. I have a CPA for my taxes. I have a bookkeeper for my weekly expenses, and to be able to do my fuel and all of that fun stuff, because I try to do it all. When I first opened the business, I swear to God, I literally tried to do it all. I have my laptop, and I was like, hey man, like every single time I pump fuel, I would do the line itemization. I would do everything like that, and it was too much work, man. Like driving a truck, securing the load, and dealing with the books, because the books never stop. It's an everyday thing. Like, you need a team. That's why I'm able to just focus on driving the truck, getting the load safely, securing the load, getting the load from point A to point B, and I have my team in the back end taking care of all the clerical work. Now, can I do it? I have a degree. I could actually do it. I could do my own taxes if I want. I could do my bookkeeping if I want. I know I'm very, very efficient with Microsoft Excel. I used it a lot with my prior career, so I could do it, and it'll save me some money, right? It'll save me a couple of dollars, sure, but do I have the time for it? Do I have the time to run 11 hours a day working on a 14-hour clock, and then spend another 2 hours, 3 hours doing books at the end of the shift. Am I gonna do all that? I'm not. So have a team, guys. Set up your business correctly. Like I've said it before, do your LLC. Get paid to your business name. Don't get paid to your personal name. And have your team behind you, man. Have your team behind you. Don't be scared to pay money. You gotta spend to make. You know, it takes money to make money. You know, you gotta spend that money, man. Hire that team, because you don't want to be sitting here being a one-man show, doing everything by yourself, and you overwhelmed. That's how come I'm able to relax. You see me when I'm home, I'm able to relax. You know, I'm able to be home and relax, and I already did my load, or I'm loaded, and the back end of my business is being handled by somebody that I hired. So now when I'm home, I'm able to dedicate time to my family. Because that's another thing, you know, like a lot of truckers, when they're home, when they're on home time, they still worried about the business. They worried about the truck, they worried about the books, they worried about this. Listen, just hire a team, man. Trust me, it'll make all the difference, and you won't get burnt out as quickly. Hire yourself a good team. Have a good team behind you. Do everything you need to do. Don't just hire no crazy people. You know, hire a good CPA that'll do your taxes right. And you know, when it comes to taxes, I could talk about taxes for hours. But you know, there are a lot of ways that you could actually, you know, kind of circumvent the system. And when you run a business, you decide how much taxes you want to pay. But I'll leave that for another video. Right now, let's just, you know, we want to focus on being a good truck driver and having a little bit of tools available to you to just be able to handle little small things that pop up. Listen, like I said before, I am by no stretch of the imagination am I a super trucker. I don't come from a trucking background. My dad was not a trucker. My grandfather was not a trucker. My uncles are not trucker. Within my immediate family, I'm kind of like the first generation trucker. My family, we've all had corporate jobs, including myself, until I decided to do a career change because I wanted to take control of I wanted to take control of having my own business and being able to do what I wanted to do, and never giving another man the chance or the ability to fire you. Never letting another man decide for you how much money you're going to make. And that's why I said, you know, when my corporate career was over, I was like, listen, I have two cousins. They're like second cousins. They do trucking, and they've always been in my ear, like, yo, you know, if you ever stop working for that corporate, you know, you can kind of truck, you know, we do good in trucking. They're owner operators. And in the back of my mind, I was like, man, listen, I mean, that trucking shit sounds nice and all, but bro, I was good. I had my corporate job. I had on my suit and tie, and you know, I had a 9 to 5. I had a 9 to 5. I was salary plus commission, so I was doing good. It wasn't until I was removed from that situation that then I was like, man, what am I going to do? Am I going to start another company from the bottom up? Am I gonna go interview for a startup position again? Am I gonna utilize my accounting degree that I have and go start from the bottom up in accounting? You know, almost in my mid-30s at that point. So that's when I spoke to my cousins. I was like, listen, man, tell me a little bit about this trucking, man. Tell me about this trucking. And I went on a ride along. My cousin said, listen, it's better if I show you. I can show you better, I can tell you. I hopped in a truck with him. I did one load then we went from Long Island to Virginia. And man, ever since I got on that truck that first time, man, I've been super turned on to trucking. I've been real, you know, trucking to me is fascinating, is intriguing to me because you're able to do what you want to do. No two truckers are alike. Like, I'm able to get home when I want. I'm able to purchase my own truck. I've been able to do all these things in a matter of 3 years. I just made 3 years with my CDL, and within that 3-year mark, I went from company driver to lease purchase driver to owner operator. And not everybody's journey is like that. Some people stay company driving for 10, 15 years before they even think about owner operator. And that guy just crashed. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Jeez, I hope they're alright. I hope they're okay. But yeah, man, like a lot of people, some people take a longer time to get there. Some people do it in a shorter time. You know, they could just come in and just skip everything. Just come in and buy a truck, open the door, do what they gotta do. You know, like I've said before, I don't recommend doing that, but hey, you can do what you want. It's a business. You run your business how you want. But yeah, man, I don't come from a trucking background, man. Like a lot of people, you know, nothing is like, listen, other than natural talents, other than singing or acting or playing a sport, you know, everything else in life is learned. So you can't just go into a place like me. I could have just be like, oh, well, I don't know nothing about trucks. I could never, you know, I could never succeed in that business because I know nothing about trucking. I don't come from a trucking background. And all right, so what? So fucking what? Excuse my language, sorry. So what? Just learn it. One thing about me is I'm not scared to learn. I'm like a sponge. I'm always learning. I'm always watching documentaries. I'm always doing research. I'm never wasting my time feeding dumb shit to my brain. You know, like every time I watch something, like every time I watch something it's because I'm learning something from it. You have your occasional, you know, scary. I love scary movies. You have your occasional scary movie here and there that I watch, or a little romantic flick with my girl. But other than that, I'm not spending hours at a time on YouTube watching Pop the Fucking Balloon. Oh, I gotta stop cursing in this video. It's been a bit of a day. But I'm not watching Pop the Balloon or watching little dating shows and none of that stuff. Listen, you could miss me with all of that. If it's not enriching your mind, you shouldn't be wasting your time on it. Before I got into trucking, once I made up my mind, okay, you know what? I think I am gonna do trucking. I did all my research. I didn't just coincidentally land in a flatbed. I wanted to pick a division of trucking that fit my lifestyle, which is an active lifestyle. I like to work out, I like to stay in shape, I like to stay fit, and I like to just be active, you know? So what division of trucking was I gonna pick? Was I gonna pick drive-in? Nope. Was I gonna pick reefer? Absolutely not. Nothing against any of those division guys, but with my personality type, with the way that I like to live my life and what brings joy to me, flatbed, open deck was like, I immediately fell in love with it. And I've said this before, for flatbed, Stepdeck, RGN, any type of open deck work, you have to actually love this stuff. Like, you have to love working with your hands. You have to love jumping up and down. You like to love to be active, because if I came from a background where I didn't like to be active, where, you know, running a mile is the last thing on my mind, where doing pull-up, upper body, weightlifting, if I didn't come from that background and you just popped me into flatbedding, I would have probably quit a long time ago. Because listen, this shit, it is physical. It's very physical. Just the tarps alone are heavy as shit. You constantly up and down that trailer. You on top of the loads, tarp and stuff. Like, listen, man, I be sweating my ass off sometimes, you know, out here on the open deck. But again, what I was trying to say to you guys is, everything in life is learned. Don't feel intimidated if you've never done flatbed before, because I never did flatbed before. I never even trucked before. It's not like I started in driving and then I say, you know what, okay, I want to do flatbed. No, I came into this industry as a flatbedder. I've been flatbedding for 3 years. I haven't done anything else. I have no interest on any other division. Only other thing that I liked a little bit back in the days when I was researching was tankers. I do like tankers because it's kind of cool. To me, I like the way it looks. And that one does keep you a little bit active, but nowhere near the active level you have as a flatbedder. So So you gotta actually like to do this stuff. If you know yourself, if you don't like to do this type of work, then don't even do it to yourself. As far as everything else, the securing, the tarping, the this, all of that shit is learned. Nobody, and that's the point I was trying to get to, guys. People aren't born knowing how to do things. Besides your natural God-given talents, singing, stuff like that, playing sports that you're really good at, to the point you could become a professional at it, everything else is learned. Nobody is born knowing how to work an Excel spreadsheet. Nobody's born knowing how to be a CPA. Nobody's born knowing how to do taxes. Nobody's born knowing how to be a lawyer. You could be born with the gift that you're argumentative and you like to argue, but you're not born knowing how to be a lawyer. Same way here, you're not born knowing how to be a truck driver. And you know, like I'm not the trucker of the year. I am by far the opposite. Whatever the super trucker is, I'm the opposite of that. I don't drive, if you guys see, I don't drive a stick shift. I do plan on having the stick shift, getting the automatic restriction taken away from my license eventually soon, but not because, oh my God, I don't feel like a man because I don't drive a stick shift. That's a misconception, everybody. Listen, guys, the way that the industry is, everything is automated. If you want to drive forever and you do standard legal loads, you don't even need a stick shift, to be honest with you. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for that because there's a lot of old school truck drivers. That's how they learn. That's all they know, and that's perfectly fine. If I would have came into trucking in those old days, then I would have been on the same way as well. When I came into trucking 3 years ago, everything was automatic. I couldn't even find schools really that taught manual because I went through private schools. I didn't go through a Swift or none of that. I went through a private school, and the private schools that I went to, they charged extra to learn on a stick shift. The package for that course was more money than the automatic, and I was on a time restraint. I was on a time crunch in order to get the license and start working. So at that moment, I had to pick the quickest way to get the CDL. I had to pick the fastest way to do it, and going down the cheapest route because I was paying for it out of pocket. So I went with the automatic. Now, I am gonna learn stick shift just because I have a plan. I'm not gonna learn stick shift because that makes me a man or anything like that. I'm going to do the stick shift course, and all of this is a course. I'm gonna do the course. I'm gonna learn how to do it. It'll probably take me 2-3 weeks at the most. And my next truck that I'm buying is going to be a manual. But not to fulfill some other person's ego that you're not a real truck driver if you don't have a manual. I'm only gonna do a manual stick shift because I'm going to get into heavy haul. So I'm gonna buy a new truck that's gonna come with 4 axles, and with the heavy hauling, you're going to want to have a stick shift because of when you're pulling up the mountains. That's my plan behind it. So if you don't have that plan to do heavy haul and you just hauling standard legal loads that are not permanent loads or none of that, then just stay with the automatic, because why you want to complicate your life? Stay with the automatic. There's nothing wrong with driving automatics. And if anybody want to say that there's something wrong with, first of all, what I'm going to say now is going to probably piss people off, but if you don't have your own truck, don't talk to me about automatic or manual. That's number one. If you have this ego trip because you drive a stick shift and I don't, But yeah, I have my own truck, and you driving around somebody, and again, there's nothing bad with riding somebody else's truck. If you want to be a company driver, if that's the point where you're at and you don't even want to, that's fine. There's nothing against it. But don't poke your chest out to me to talk about, oh, you're not a real trucker because you drive automatic. Well, guess what? This automatic driver already surpassed you. You've been driving for 15 years, bro. You're still a company driver, but your whole life pride ego is based on driving the stick shift. You get what you see the logic behind it? So you're more worried about the stick shift than the business of it. And I understand that trucking is a lifestyle. So the lifestyle of driving a stick shift, I get it. I understand it. But guys, even though trucking is a lifestyle, trucking is also a business. So why do you think all these mega carriers put automatic trucks? It makes business sense for them. Now, I'm at a point where the automatic transmission for me makes logical business sense. Once I get to heavy haul that it does not make business sense, I will transition to a manual at that point. But what I'm saying is, like, think twice before you start criticizing people that drive automatics, because you don't even know. You could be looking at a driver that has an automatic restriction and they're probably doing way better than you in life, and you got a manual. Yeah, you have a manual, but that person is already a homeowner. That person already has his own truck, his own LLC. And you, yeah, okay, you pat yourself in the back, you drive a manual, but what else are you doing? Now, you can come talk to me if you have a manual and you have your own truck. Now I can have a conversation with you. I know that's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but listen, I'm gonna say what I feel. It's my channel, I can say what I want. If you don't have your own truck, do not talk to me about manual transmission. If you're still at the baby stage where you're driving a manual for somebody else's business, then you gotta just shut up. Once you have your own truck, then you can talk to me about manuals versus automatic. But nonetheless, guys, the whole point of the video was to talk about needing your tools. The whole point was about trying to be prepared out here, and also just all of this super trucker stuff, guys. Listen, nobody's born knowing how to drive a truck. We all go through the learning stages of it. You have to learn how to drive a truck. You gotta learn how to drive a manual transmission. If I don't come from a trucking background, if I don't come from a trucking family, and my father didn't sit me down on his lap from 4 or 5 years old and teach me how to drive a stick, how the hell am I supposed to do it? If trucking is not in my blood, what does that mean? That, oh, well, I can't drive? No, so all right. The easiest thing was for me to get into automatic, and then eventually I'll transition to a manual when I need to. Again, if you're only doing legal loads that are not heavy, you don't need 4-axle. You don't need no 4-axle truck setup, and you don't even need a manual. At that point, manual is just an ego thing, and it's just like, okay, I drive manual, so I'm cool. And yes, you are. Listen, there's nothing cooler than that Peterbilt, you know, with the sticks up here, and you just laying back, bro. That shit look cool as fuck. Excuse my language. It looks cool as hell. But you and I are driving the same load. We went to the same shipper. We're bringing it to the same receiver. We both got the load delivered for the same rate. I probably negotiated better than you, so I probably got a better rate than you. But the only thing that makes me less of a driver than you is because I drive an automatic. Well, you know what? This automatic is mine. I'm not renting this automatic. I'm not driving it for nobody else. I am the owner of my automatic, so I could at least be prideful of that. I could pat myself in the back for that. And when you get to that point, then you can sit here and call me less of a man because I don't have a stick shift. Simple as that, guys. But you know, sometimes I go on these rants, man, and I'll sit and I'll talk to y'all I could talk about this for 5 hours right now, but again, I'm not gonna do it to you guys, and I don't want to cause a whole big controversy. Oh, you know, this guy said, you know, don't talk to him if you don't have your own truck. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying treat people with respect and just acknowledge people's hustles, acknowledge their grind. I've met a lot of automatic drivers with excellent credit scores, mortgages with their own homes, building a second business aside from the trucking business. And then I've met a lot of people that drive manual transmission that have got nothing going on. They've been trucking for 15 years. They don't have a truck. They don't own a home. They don't have any other business. All they do is truck. And again, there's nothing wrong with just trucking. But again, I come from a business background. I have business credentials. And to me, trucking is a business. It's not in my blood. It's nothing crazy. For me, it's just straight business. When it makes business sense to switch to manual, because I'm gonna make more money driving a manual, I will switch to it at that point. In the meantime, I'm an owner operator driving my own automatic truck, and I am happy with it, more than content with the choices I have taken. So let's keep driving down the road. Let's get to where we're going, and let's stop for the night. I'll touch base with you guys tomorrow morning when I'm getting unloaded at the second stop. And I think we got 3 stops in New Hampshire, but they're all within like an hour time. So I'll be done with it. I'll be done with it same day. And then I got another load I'm picking up in New Hampshire, which I'm bringing it to Queens. So we're going back to the boroughs. You guys know I be in the boroughs all the time because I'm from the Bronx. So I see a load like that, I was paying good money going to Queens. I didn't run from it. I wasn't scared from it, and that's how I was able to negotiate the rate even more. And then from Queens we'll keep hopping back down to the point where I get home. I don't know if I'm going home this weekend, to be honest. I might not, because I have me and wifey have a New York trip. One of my best friends is getting married, and we're gonna take a couple of days off and get a hotel in the city, Manhattan and Soho. We're gonna spend the weekend out there, so I might stay out just to put some extra money in my pocket. I don't like to in-debt myself, so that trip that I have for New York, I already paid for it cash. I don't put stuff on a credit card that I paid off little by little. I pay for it cash, so I'm gonna need my cash back. If I pay for something, I'm gonna need the money back. So I'm gonna probably stay out this weekend just to make that money back. It's different. I do use credit cards. I'm not saying I don't use credit cards, but if I swipe my credit card, it's because I have the money to pay for it within a day or two. I don't let it. All my credit cards are on zero, and anytime I spend, I put it back to zero. My utilization rate is down to the floor because of it, and that's what keeps you at a good credit rate. And I'll talk about that another video. I'm gonna just shut up already. But yeah, I'll probably stay out this weekend. I might not. Let's see. After I deliver to Queens, more than likely I'll probably go to the Baltimore ports and let's see what load they got, what kind of machinery they got, or maybe look for something oversized. I might do an oversized, let's see. But yeah, we'll go from there. I'll see you guys. We are here at the second stop on New Hampshire. They're gonna get this bad boy right here, this little mini joint. Let's see how they take it off, but they have to put it on with a forklift. So they're gonna take this off, and then these two are the last 2 stops. These are just probably roll out the back with a dock. But this one, they're gonna have to come with a forklift and lift this one up out of here. But let's see how they get it done, man. Take a look in a little bit. That is our second stop. Let's go clean up and get a guys. We have to, guys. We are low. We are low. We are low. Gotta refill this. We gotta put some freeze over there. Gotta do this, man, because we are super low. Shouldn't have let it got that low, but let's pull a little bit and then let's continue on to our third stop from there, guys. All right, let's take a look. DOT will give you, they will give you a hassle if you don't have, you know, wiper fluid. That's one of your, when they give you a level 2, when they give you an inspection, they make you turn on your wipers and they make you spray your fluid to make sure that you have some in there, because it's a hazard driving without it. And then look at this bad boy. Yep. Yeah, right at the minimum line, so let's bring it up. Looks about right. We'll save the rest. It wasn't missing that much. We'll save the other half in the truck for next time. Make sure it's nice and tight. Should be good from there, guys. Let's get on down the road. Alright guys, we done made it. We done made it to our third stop. I'm assuming this one I'm gonna get unloaded. Back up to where this guy's at. But let me go see where I check in at. Let me go ask him. Probably gonna check inside of there. They're gonna tell me wait till he's done, back up to there so they can take their stuff off. But yeah, let's take a look, guys. Be right back. Alright guys, third stop. Getting complete now. See how we get this done over here. Let's get this fourth one up out of here. All right guys, last stop. Man, had to pull my ramps out, well, just one set, because all of these places, their docks is all for flatbed. I don't know why the broker requested a step deck. I know the generator I had was really tall, so I think this whole load was turned into a step deck load because of the tall generator that was not gonna go on a flatbed. But the rest of the machines, all of these little tractors, the last 3 stops I've had, they've all had an issue with the ramps, I mean with the docks, because they were all expecting a flatbed. This is not the safest thing to do, but there's no other solution. We're gonna get a, he said he got cinder blocks for the middle in case they fall off or something, but we should be good. Oh yeah, we got the blocks right here. Perfect. Let's see how we set these bad boys up. and that's how we use these ramps. Sometimes we use them on the floor, sometimes we gotta improvise like this. All right, well guys, we are done. Trailer is cleared, officially empty. We just knocked out 4 stops, 1 in upstate New York, 3 in New Hampshire. We are done. Had to pull the ramps out for the last one, first set. But yeah guys, that's it. We are done with our delivery. Check out the new videos coming out. I'm about to head over. I got another load right here in New Hampshire. I'm about 60 miles away. I'm gonna go start heading there to pick it up now. And that load is gonna go from New Hampshire down to Woodside, New York. So it's going down to Queens, baby, going to Queens. That'll be an adventure for sure. So let's see how Queens is gonna treat us, all right? But yeah guys, until next time, thank you for watching.